What should be people thinking about when it comes to investing then? How do they know what to invest in and to not, because you can invest in something and lose all your money.
Yes.
So what approach do you give to people there?
So I always say the first thing is, and I say this and I want people to understand this, invest in what you understand.
So if you wear Nikes.
Yeah, you should be looking at apparel brands, right? Nike, Lululemon, because you understand that, right? If you a workout person, then you should be looking at like Planet Fitness, things like that. Like if you are a tech person, if you use an Apple phone, you should 100% be on looking at Apple, right? If you're a car person, like, but one of the things I like now is fintech, financial technology. So everybody uses PayPal or Square, right? That is the way money is changing. The way we using money is completely different now. So I think everybody should be investing in fintech right now, 100%. But I look at it as, so every investor has what's called an investor identity. Like what you're willing to risk, your risk tolerance, what companies you're more familiar with. If you're a doctor, then you know more about medicine. So you should be in biotech or pharmaceuticals, healthcare. That should be your thing. If you are, again, a person who's in software, then cybersecurity, software, that's where you're going to be strong at. And that's where your strong points are. I remember Warren Buffett said for a long time, he didn't understand technology. So he didn't buy technology. He didn't buy Apple stock until like 2017. He's like, I don't understand it. I don't even have a computer.
I don't use it. Yeah.
I don't even use it, right? So I learned that from him. He says, I put things in a too hard box. If it's too hard for me to understand, I don't do it. And what I love about investing is, it's not an IQ sport. It's not about who has the biggest IQ at all, because it's more so about how do I stay in my circle of competence and what I understand, because that's what gives me the advantage. Whatever I like for me, it's banks. Like I love banks. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, love it. Fintech, love it. Still dealing with, like I love money. I'm a hustler. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I love that. So that's why I'm like heavy at.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm not a biopharmaceutical person.
Right.
So I stay away from that.
Yeah.
How do I stay away from it? Right.
Yeah.
So the easiest thing is like wherever you work at, like look around. Wherever you shop at, look around. Every time I buy a product, I'm looking at who made it. So I can go look that up, see if it's a public company, if it's a private company, right? If it's public, that means we can all invest into it. If I can invest into it, I want a piece of it. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep it simple. We don't even have to make it hard, right? You don't have to be Warren Buffett out the gate. Right? You don't have to be that. Like Warren Buffett didn't become Warren Buffett until 20 years, 30 years in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to figure out who you are as a person, who you are as an investor, that take you to that next level.
Do you have a strategy where every month you're automatically putting money away into investments, or when you get a chunk of money, then you're putting a certain percent into it? What's your mindset around investing in terms of how often you do it, how frequently you're putting it?
So every time I get money, at least 50% of it goes to investment.
Really?
Yeah. I'm heavy with it. I could do a lot with less.
Yeah.
Like I don't live my life like that. I literally, and I will say this on camera, I only have like $10,000 sitting in the bank. My life, if something happens to me, my life is not set up in a way where I need a lot of money on hand.
And you can always sell stock and get money.
You know, so for me, I do three things every time I get some money. I invest for my daughter first, and then I invest for myself. And then I see what else got to be paid. Right. So even with investing for myself, when I'm putting money in the market, I'm sometimes just putting it in my account so it's available for me to use.
At the right time.
When the time permits, right? So every week I'm putting money in, okay, let me put this money in my account. Then I have separate accounts because I got portfolios that are designed to do different things for me, right? So I have a dividend portfolio, whereas everything in that portfolio is about me having businesses that pay dividends. So I got Costco, T. Rowe Price, Home Depot, O Realty, companies like that is just designed for me to get dividends.
Yeah.
So
even if it's only $20, $30 a month, it's something,
man,
right?
That's it. And so I look at it as, okay, this will be passive income 39. I won't need this until I'm 59, 60, right?
And it keeps reinvesting in itself.
So I reinvest them.
Yeah.
And so now they buy me more shares of themselves. All right, cool. And then one portfolio I use for growth stock. So all right, this is where my Apple's at, and my fintech companies, my PayPal's and Affirms and things like that. Because now I'm gonna get a lot of growth. That's why I'm taking more risk right here, right? And then there's an option portfolio I have where I trade at. So now I got 3 portfolios set up to do 3 different things when they have 3 different agendas, and I got a Roth IRA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's tax, for tax advantages. So that's financial literacy.
And
right?
life insurance, whole life insurance.
Yeah, got whole life insurance, right? So understanding how the wealthy play the game. I just bought 40 acres of land, right? I said, I'm gonna create agriculture. Why? Because agriculture gets more breaks than anybody. You know what I'm saying? I bought 40 acres of land, free and clear. It's mine. I'm gonna turn it into a farm, right? Grow organic food, organic vegetables. I got water well on it.
Wow.
Right?
That's cool.
Like, all right, cool. Let's do that. Tax advantages for this. Anything comes off that land, I get breaks on that. So it's me sitting back saying, this is how the wealthy play the game of life. Not in survival mode, but in offense. The moment you can switch from survival mode to offense, the game changes. The more aggressive team in the game, the more aggressive boxer in the game, the more aggressive, that's when the game is played. Again, class of people are used to life dictating them. I'm gonna take the punches how they come.
Right.
How you doing, man? I'm making it.
Yeah.
The responses be different. Man, what's up? How you feeling, man? Man, I'm making it, man. Well, you ask somebody, well, what's up, man? Just closed out on a deal.
Yeah.
Got a couple business meetings. I love attacking life. And it don't always have to be going the way you want. As long as you attacking it. Every day I get up saying, I got an opportunity to go attack. Right? I got an opportunity to change something. To make sure, turn my last name into an asset. Right? Turn my last name into an asset.
That's cool.
Own my 24 hours. That's the goal. The person who can own their 24 hours can create freedom.
Right.
That's the difference between financial freedom and then financial independence.
What's the difference?
So financial independence is saying, I now can make money for myself. I don't got to worry about my job. I don't got to worry about none of that. I can create the cash flow that comes into my house. Financial freedom says money is no longer even an issue. Big difference. Because even someone who can create money for themselves still doesn't have freedom all the time.
Right.
You can be an entrepreneur and be a slave to the business.
You build yourself a job.
You build yourself a job,
Yeah.
right? But financial freedom says your money is not even an issue no more.
Right.
And that don't even have to be a lot.
Right.
Whatever you...
That's why I feel like some people have this fantasy of entrepreneurship as this ideal lifestyle that's going to get them. Where I don't think people understand the weight of being an entrepreneur and how long it actually takes. I mean, you hear great stories of people that are like, I built this thing and then sold it for $1 billion. That usually took 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And so many punches in the face and the gut and ups and downs. But most businesses fail after a few years. And the ones that succeed, a lot of the entrepreneurs are just working really hard to pay themselves a salary and take more responsibility, weight, and pressure, taxes, insurance, all these things they got to pay until they learn to break through.
Yep.
And so it's not the sexiest thing.
No.
It takes time and energy and a real
persistence. I remember that, just before the show, I asked you, I said, outside of consistency, what was one of the things? And you was like, man, now. And I was like, this 9 years.
Yeah.
Most people quit year 1, year 2. Nope, this too much for me. I can't deal with it. It's pressure, right? But there's this thing about getting up. And let me say that I don't think there's nothing wrong with anybody working a job. Because I don't think entrepreneurship is for everybody.
I don't think it is, man.
Right? But I do know that building wealth is for everybody.
Absolutely. And you can take your money you're making from your job and invest it so it's working for you.
It should be your biggest investment.
And that's what you were doing.
That's what I did. But I feel too that I think that everybody should at least once in their life go all in on something. Something that you just believe in. That's living to me. Because for me, I always, I don't need motivation. Because when I look at my life, my motivation is saying I'll never go back to that again.
Right.
My motivation is saying that I have a daughter that I never want her to experience that life, right? So getting up every day knowing that I can change my family, knowing that we are now in a time where we've never had the opportunity like we have now. And if I don't take advantage of that opportunity, when it's time for me to go, I'm gonna feel real messed up about that.
Right.
It's not about who has the biggest IQ at all, because it's more so about how do I stay in my circle of competence and what I understand, because that's what gives me that advantage. Whatever I like for me, it's banks. Like I love banks, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, love it.